Thank you very much, Dmitry Kuznetsov. I believe this really screams, never stop growing with MiSiS. Like together with each other, with our networking, we will be able to move forward as one person alone can't, but together we can.
Yeah, totally. And so now it's time would like to invite to the stage our next speaker. Please welcome lecturer at Rudayan University, Mr. Mustapha Jamiu.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm happy to be here today for many reasons. Number one is the fact that this is the second time I'm attending this event. And I happen to be one of the first to launch this program. So I'm happy to be here. And today's, this year theme happens to be a very lovely theme I really love. And it happens to also be towards the end of a time or the period which I got my PhD, and it resonates exact with what you have here. Never stop growing with MiSiS. And here today I'll be talking about my peculiarities, or generally what peculiarities is, and my professional growth so far after I left MiSiS. What has happened? And I'll be using this opportunity to also tell or to inform you what can be done in growing with MiSiS and using your peculiarities for positivity. So, well, I won't bother to really do much here, but I guess my introduction, they've already told you about who I am and what I do. So currently, I work with Surdems Africa, which we are currently monitoring a national election in Nigeria. So with more than 150 to 200 volunteers across the nation. So other than that, I do other political communication research after I left MiSiS. So many things has happened in 3 years. Today, what I want to share with you, I have outlined here. Number one is to define what peculiarities is, or what they are, and the importance of it. So the differences. Peculiarity itself is about difference. Then what makes it different for you to be able to use it well? Two types from my own perspective, of course. So as an academic, I should be able to know when to stand on a particular definitions. So I may say it's my own definition when it comes to conceptual definition. So we go with that. Managing and using your peculiarities as strengths. So there are many different types of peculiarities. We'll be looking at what are some of them, and you will know why you need to use some of them for strength. And my peculiarity story, my MiSiS experience, and growth. So definitions. I look at definitions of peculiarities from different forms. One is the fact that it's an important part of you that you need to really develop. You need to really identify and know how to use it effectively. So it's very important for you to know what are my peculiarities, which one works for me and which one doesn't work for me. So this is very important, and can be very difficult because it can be difficult to accept that it is mine. And it can also be difficult to use it in maximizing your potentials. So one is that there is something about your personality versus others. So some other people have their personalities, and people tend to want you to act, to do things in the way of theirs. So it's important for you to own, to accept what is yours and be able to define yourself for who you are. So when you're able to stand and know that this is me, and you can be able to know when I need to learn something from someone and when I need to stand for what I believe in. So another one is society, culture, how you were brought up, where you are coming from. So, for example, I'm an African. I'm from Nigeria, and I found myself in MiSiS. So, of course, there will be differences among people I met, my teachers, and different people I meet on the street. So, that first thing is about the fact that I'll be seen, one, as a black guy. I'll be seen when I talk to some people and I discuss who I am for what I am. It does not mean it is a mistake. It does not mean it's a negative. It's up to you to know how to use them. So realize that, identify it, then you will know how to use it. Your goal versus others. For every one of us may have same goals, but we want to use it for different purposes. So you need to know that. Your dreams versus others. People have their dreams. You also have your dream. Even when you find yourself, I want to have a master's degree. I want to have a master's degree. So, and many of you want to have a master's degree. But you want to use your master's degree for different things. You're going to use it in different environments. That should be your competition, not the people you find in there. So, consider your peculiarities to be, one, a strength, a weakness, or the neutral. It could be in any of these forms. So your peculiarity could be your strength, and it's important for you to know that which one is my strength, and I should use it effectively. And which one is my weakness? Because it's your weakness does not mean that you are going to, put yourself somewhere and you don't want to show yourself. It's about the fact that you need to accept the reality of the fact that you can never be 100% perfect. It's my weakness. I'm a human, and I'm working on it, the one I can work on. I'm managing the one I can manage, and I move on as a human. And the neutral, it could be imbalanced. It depends on how people view and how you also see it. So that will define what it is and how you're going to use it. How do you manage and use your peculiarities as strengths? One, be dynamic. Wherever you find yourself in MiSiS, you find yourself in the UK or anywhere in the world, the ability to be dynamic in anything you do. So don't be a static person, someone who just wants to come with one ideology. From where I'm coming from, it's how we do, and I'm not ready to change. Don't do that. Two, adaptability. I'm not talking about conformity. So conformity is not really good because it's way of you throwing your own personality somewhere and you want to just conform with what they want to define you for. So I have something I do say. I say that when you fail to define yourself for who you are and what you want, people will define you for what they want. So they're going to place you and you're going to become a tool. So it's very important for you to know who you are and use it for yourself. Forward thinking. Don't think backward. So I'm happy today I'm in front of, at least I can see two of my teachers here. Malcolm Guest is here and Lilia Bendereva are here. And I must say I appreciate what you've done and what I passed through in your class. And some of these have really, contributed and, in shaping me for who I am today. So thanks. So forward thinking, be a forward thinker. Don't be a backward. So wherever you find yourself, always try to be positive. So nothing will ever be perfect 100%, but find a way to go regardless of the challenges you're facing. So be resilient. The previous speaker talked about the importance, and it happens to even be the final slide of him about how it's important. Resilience is important. Whatever you want to do, you have to be persistent. Stay true to that goal of yours. When you get distracted, then you're gone. So, commitment. Be committed to that goal. Things you've set for yourself. That will help you to manage your peculiarities. Finally, open-minded. Be objective. Don't come with, we all have our own culture. I grew up in 3 different societies. I've lived in different societies or 3 different countries, which, I've seen different cultural shocks that, totally different from how I was brought up. And try my best to adjust and develop through it. My peculiarity, story, growth, and MiSiS experience. 1, self-esteem. This is not about proud or pride. And it could be pride, also proud sometimes. So meaning that I'm proud of who I am, and I'm unapologetic for who I am and what I stand for. So far as I know that I'm also contributing to something, not positively, in the society. So what you want could be different from mine, and you don't need to come and just, change me for that. I know what I want. For every society, let me tell you one story. One of the stories, same this university, and Lilia is here. We always fight. We always have a kind of a disagreement sometimes, but our disagreements, we usually find a way. So the first thing when I came after the first 2 months was when I went to her class. I was like, I know who I am, and I know what I want in this school. I don't think I can really go with this. I'm happy that she's an open-minded person. Yes, it's about argue. Tell me why. Give me proof. Why do you want me to give you that? That's okay. Sometimes some people cannot stand that kind of criticism, and they'll be out. So that's helped me because she's open and I'm open, and we talk about what we want, and we move. So, self-awareness, know yourself. What are you worth of? What can you do? Consistency. I want to do this. Be on it, time to time, and gradually you get what you want. Acknowledgement of what you can do and what you can't. It's one of the things I do. I know where I belong and where I do not belong. You can't know everything, of course, but still, to an extent, one of the key things I try to do for myself at the earliest stage of my life is to know who I am. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? So I try to develop those. I try to manage the one I can manage, and I try to move on. So appreciation in all. It's one of the things I do carry. No matter how small it is, I appreciate people. I appreciate myself, and I appreciate my society. My MiSiS, Growth and Peculiarities, one of the first programs, and I was not a red student. I was not a first-class student, and I never fight for that. And I do tell people for many reasons. But I do fight for differences in society. I do fight for me to do what I need to do because I already know what I want. So one is that I happen to have the opportunity among my peers back then to attend an international community with the leaders of the university from different parts of the world. So those conversations of this particular day, they are part of what shaped me because I had the opportunity to interact with top-class researchers across the world. Another one, I had an opportunity to be an ambassador of MiSiS in Nigeria and Ghana. I went. How did I get that? It was not given to me like, take Mustapha. No. I went for it. I saw something, an opportunity for me to promote the university and promote myself, of course. So, I did that. I designed a PR project, and we had an agreement, and I got it. So I went there. I was in about 5 or 6. I attended 6 different interviews on radio, TV, and newspapers. And today, those things also are part of what shapes my journey. I have some of my colleagues, someone from Italy there, Spain, Russia, I think Uzbekistan, and myself. So this was the final day of our defense. So then when I finished, how did I get my master's thesis? The reason I have this is, one, my master's thesis, I applied for, I've already chosen a supervisor. And suddenly I heard that they said, you're not doing this. Lilia Bandarif, I want to see you. Why? What? So I went to meet Lilia. And when we talked with Lilia, and she reminded me of some project I've submitted via the email. Mustapha, why don't we try this? I was like, okay. Then I look at it, and it happens to be one of the projects that they use to also create something in the university today. So my thesis happens to be a practical thesis, and that thesis, they are using it. And I even later heard that today, Russian government, they are looking for people to design a curriculum about technological entrepreneurship program, which was my PR, my thesis program. So my PhD, I had the opportunity to get a PhD at the Rudin University. How did I get that? At Rudin, my MiSiS story was one of what got me my admission, number one. Number two, my MiSiS story was one of what got me a job at Rudin. So I was in my second year when I got a job at Miss Rodin. They asked me, what can you do? I submitted a proposal about the same project that I used in Africa for promoting MiSiS. Was the same project I proposed to them. And this same project was the project that I use, and I'm also teaching under that particular program. Then my permanent residence, the reason I have this is about the fact that I did not use a red diploma. I guess Lilia is getting to know this for the first time now. I just got it last week. And I got it not through red diploma. I got it not through marrying a Russian. I got it through what I merit, my work. So, finally, my lecturing job at university, how I landed it, that's what I told you. And I'll leave you with this. Your peculiarities are what distinguishes you from others and serve as the keys to unlocking doors to success in unique ways. Identify it, study it, and learn how to use them as your strengths. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Mustapha. And actually, the stories that we heard really describes the lives of an international alumni, specifically also of an international student, specifically when they come to MiSiS, of how also when we meet different people from different cultures and we sit long hours